What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are live with episode 9 of the Linux Tech and Gaming Podcast. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing great. We got Osiris and the Atomic Ass back in action this week. Like I said, for episode 9, we got some great topics. And I'm Ubu the Tech Guru, and I have a YouTube channel. Clearly, you're watching the stream on it. And I do live stream on Hitbox and Twitch, as I have a Twitter. And, you know, the links and whatnot will be down below in the description of this video. We will be monitoring chat if you'd like to interact with us. We'll try to, interact with you in the comment section. YouTube's comment section is kind of weird sometimes, but so I don't know. How are you doing today, Atomic?
Same old, same old.
All right. That's all you got to say?
He's just doing same old.
Okay. Osiris, how are you doing today?
I am good now that I fixed my micro stuttering problem somewhat. And between the 14.9 drivers and some hackery.
Really?
Yeah. The micro stuttering was driving me up the wall.
Holy shit! What did you? Wow, we might have to talk about this a little bit. What did you do?
Well, it's somewhere between disabling multi-core processing on the Valve games, or adding the argument -thread space 4 at the launch options for Steam games. Seems to do it. Oh. So it seems almost like a CPU problem instead of a GPU problem, but I don't know.
What did you add to the launch property? Sorry.
It's -thread space 4 or whatever number.
Oh, so it's telling the game to utilize 4 cores or what?
Yeah.
Or the Steam runtime or something to utilize 4 cores.
I assume that's what's happening. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know. I found it on Reddit.
Gotcha. On the Linux subreddit.
I believe that's where it was at. Yeah.
Oh, and look who actually decided to join the show. Back here over my shoulder, we got Gizmo. She decided to come to the show. She's just lounging over there on the back on the couch. All right, so this week's
that cat does live, because last time I seen it, it's always on your left side, your right side, but it never moves.
My right side, yeah, my right.
Yeah, Tommy had a debate whether it actually moves.
Yeah, last time we thought she was stuffed.
Oh, stuffed. Oh, S-T-U-F-F-E-D. Gotcha. No, she moves. I thought you said stuck, like S-T-U-F-F-E-D. Like stuck. Anyway, that's Gizmo. She is over my left shoulder, but oftentimes the cats will sit over my right shoulder on the other edge of the couch, so they must move around apparently. I don't know. So for today, we have, let's see, we got 5 topics, maybe 6, and right away the first thing that we'll go into is a segment with the Atomic Ass, and he plays a game, each week, and basically just fills in the audience on how that game runs in Linux. So Atomic, what game do we got this week?
This week we have Killing Floor, and this is basically you shoot zombies. Now, this is a purely co-op game. It's for 1 to 6 players, and we've played it before.
Yep. Actually had fun playing it too. And this actually is a perfect game because it ties in with the 6th topic that I was going to bring up during the podcast today.
And it's Halloween.
Wow, Atomic, you really picked
He's on the ball today.
Yeah.
Well, no.
The stars just aligned here on this one.
No, I would have picked it 2 weeks later if I had been planning for timing there.
All right, well, tell us about the game, Atomic.
Well, the story, such as it is that a biotechnical firm has been working in some areas they probably shouldn't have, and have created a bunch of mindless and some not so mindless zombies. All of them are hell-bent on killing you and your friends.
Hmm.
So you wield a variety of guns to kill them. I mean,
All
there's
right.
not much. There is not much more explanation you can really get into.
Well, I know you introduced the game to me, and I'm trying to remember if I bought it or did I get it on sale. I don't recall, but I will say this: I do enjoy the game. Like he said, it is fun with playing it with your friends or with others. And one thing that could you touch on a little bit is is there varying game modes? Because I thought there was a couple different game modes that within it.
Well, you have the standard so many waves and then you fight a boss, but you also have these missions. And the last time I played, there were 2 missions. I think there was 3 missions. They added one recently, and in these missions you have various tasks to do. Go and find this item, unlock this door, go save that guy, don't let him be killed.
Yeah, yeah. So is that just is that the only 2 game modes in there? Because I think that's the only 2 that I've played with you.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So for those of you that aren't aware, Killing Floor is among the games that are going to be free to play, I believe, this coming weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
Which, to me, automatically indicates Killing Floor 2 must be on the horizon somewhere. That's usually what happens when the next one comes out.
Well, no, this thing's been on free to play before. Several times, actually.
Okay. Well, apparently this is the largest Steam free play weekend ever, from what I'm reading an article posted on Eurogamer. It allows users to play 10 full games at no charge until Monday. And like I said, one of the Killing Floor is among those games. So if you've never tried out Killing Floor, go ahead, go to your Steam library starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, and download, Killing Floor and give it a try. It's a fun little shooter. It kind of reminds me. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead 2, similar to that kind of play style. But the graphics are definitely unique. The enemies or the zombies that are trying to kill you are unique. And the guns in there are pretty cool. There's different levels of guns, and I like the challenge of always making sure you get to the store, because the store you can buy new weapons at only for a certain amount of time. So I like how they added that little challenge in there, is getting to the checkpoint, and then purchasing your guns in time. Because I know there's been times where we've been playing and somebody turns on the store before I'm totally over there, or somebody's totally over there, and then you get there and you only have enough time to maybe buy more bullets and you don't get to buy a new gun. So then you get to go through a really tough round with this shitty pistol, that you got when you first started the game. So I think I give the Killing Floor a go. If you don't have it, this weekend's perfect to definitely give it a download and try it out.
And if you do end up liking it, whenever Steam has one of these free-to-play weekends, it's always on sale. And Killing Floor frequently goes for 75% off, making it $5. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, among the other titles, since we kind of have already let the cat out of the bag about this topic, we have Awesome Knots, we have Blade Symphony, we have Company of Heroes 2, we have Don't Starve, we have Grid 2, Injustice, Payday 2, Trine 2, which is definitely one that if you've never played a Trine game, you got to download Trine 2 and give it a go. Man, I had a blast playing that game. And then XCOM Enemy Unknown. And so within this list, there's several Linux titles in there. If you're a Linux gamer, and you want to try these games, several of them are Linux compatible.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at the number of Linux titles that are in here.
I mean, isn't XCOM Enemy Unknown, isn't that Linux compatible?
Yes, it is. Also,
Trine 2, Killing Floor,
I think.
Don't Starve. I think Don't Starve is Linux compatible.
If it isn't, it definitely works in Y. 100%.
I might have to give Payday 2 a try. I've always seen pictures like with these guys wearing clown masks and robbing banks and shit. I might want to give that game a try this weekend. Whether it's natively in Linux or if I run it in Wine, I'm not sure. Or if I just install it on my Windows and dual boot. But I haven't booted into Windows in ages, so I don't know if I want to break that seal, if I want to fire Windows back up. But, so how would you say the game, runs in? Have you tried it on your 750 Ti yet, Atomic?
No, I haven't, but I was playing it on my Intel HD 4600 Haswell desktop graphics, and it was not dropping below 60 frames a second. I mean, it was rock solid.
Nice.
Because this isn't exactly a new game. It did come out in 2009, but it lacks those little tricks that would make a game just a little bit better, and goes for it looks good and it performs good.
Yeah. It's based on the Steam engine, right?
Source, you mean?
No.
I mean Source engine.
No, it's not Source. I think it's Unreal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know when I was running, I know I played it when I had my HD 7770, and I believe the only little glitch that I ran into once in a while was losing focus of the game and my mouse not working. So I know that then I would have to kill the game and restart the game entirely. That was one glitch, I think, right, Atomic? You even experienced that, or no? Was that just me? And I don't know if that's only for AMD users or if that's. I don't think I've played it on my GTX 760 yet.
I think I recall having that issue, and I'm pretty sure you have played it on the 760. I don't think you actually bought the game until you had your 760.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, so that pretty much covers the Atomic Ass game review of the week. Killing Floor. It's great. It runs in Linux. It runs good. It does what it its objective, which was basically a zombie killing game, kind of in waves.
Oh yeah, and it has no controller support.
Oh yeah, that's right. No controller support.
You'd better know how to use a keyboard and mouse.
Yep.
Keyboard, mouse, master.
The one game, yeah, the one game that I was forced to use the keyboard and mouse, and besides the little bug I had where I would lose the focus of the window and then the mouse wouldn't work. It ran fine for me. All right. So
I didn't have any problems out of that game when I was using my GTX 660.
So moving.
Are you there?
What?
Your audio just cut out for a second there.
Oh, really? Oh. How long?
About 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Real long? Okay, shit. Sorry. I don't know what that was about. Okay, so I was just saying that moving into our first topic of the show, we have NVIDIA adding PhysX GPU acceleration support under Linux. So currently, I believe there is some PhysX support in Linux, but it's an old version of PhysX. I know I saw the developers from Aspire Media that the version of PhysX that's currently running with Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, they said it's an older custom version of PhysX, and that NVIDIA releasing Core PhysX SDK version 3.3.2, which was just last Friday, that them releasing it really wasn't advantageous for them for Borderlands 2 or the pre-sequel, unfortunately. But for future titles, we might see better PhysX support in our Linux games. So that's great news, in my opinion.
How big of a deal do you think it would be for them to upgrade the PhysX in Borderlands?
I think Blair is the one that's in the Steam forums from Aspire Media, and I think it's too big a deal for them to even consider to do it, is the way I believe he put it, something along those lines. But I do want to show you guys. I want to share. I want to share a video quickly showing PhysX and non-PhysX side by side, running on a GTX a graphics card. Now, obviously, I don't know how well this is going to come across on the live stream, but what the hell, right? I'm going to give it a try. So, you should be seeing PhysX. Let me rewind it here, side by side, showing you the difference. I mean, I had no idea how cool PhysX was. Osiris has kind of downplayed it. To me, he said it was kind of no big deal. But just looking at this video alone is crazy, seeing the amount of physics basically that are occurring on screen with like little particles, water flowing, air flowing, gas in the air, particles flying, stuff exploding. I mean, it's like wind and stuff. It's crazy. And I mean, if we can get, I don't know. I think it's awesome. What do you think, Atomic? I mean,
yeah, I like it.
The difference showing Borderlands 2 with the the PhysX enabled is, wow. This video is just insane in my eyes.
The reason I downplayed it is because I proposed this question. We've all had GeForce cards playing it under Windows with PhysX. Now, and we also all played it on Linux with no PhysX. How much did you actually miss it?
I didn't miss it. You're right, I guess.
That's why I downplay it. It's not that important to me. There's bigger fish to fry before I worry about PhysX. That's all I'm saying. Not that it's not cool.
I mean, I see your point.
And I don't like proprietary stuff, like them making it proprietary for whatever reason. I know it's a hardware thing, but yeah.
Well, and to kind of continue on that line, they have this whole NVIDIA GameWorks package that has the PhysX in it and a lot of other tools that can be used in the development of a game. And that supposedly NVIDIA GameWorks, I believe, came to Linux or is coming to Linux. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that's what I read.
I don't think I've seen the GameWorks news yet. If there is, I haven't seen it yet. That would be cool. That would give the developers more incentive to develop on multiple platforms, because GameWorks, as I understand, is a tool set that makes shortcuts, basically large amounts of shortcuts for development, so they don't have to recode the same types of things over and over.
Right. Yeah, actually, it was reported on back in March by Phoronix that NVIDIA GameWorks would be coming to Linux, but just not. It hasn't been confirmed when.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
At first they said before the summer of 2014, and clearly that didn't happen, or did it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe NVIDIA GameWorks is already out for Linux. I could be. I don't know. I guess that's my lack of looking into this, the GameWorks, more thoroughly. So I apologize, guys. But I did want to touch on the fact that NVIDIA released the Core PhysX SDK version 3.3.2 for Linux last Friday. So that was one of the topics I wanted to touch on.
Awesome.
So hopefully we'll see some games take advantage of that PhysX just to make them that much prettier. I guess is a hope that we can have. Moving on, why don't we go to this topic that Atomic was going to touch on, and it involves money. Who doesn't like talking about money? Atomic?
Well, Darkcoin is one that I've not actually done too much research on. But where is it in the list here? There it is. I might be conflating this with another coin, but I think that this one is supposed to be able to mine with less power on the GPU. Like for the same amount of calculations, it generates less heat, less power consumption, etc.
Well, and I know the main reason that we were going to mention Darkcoin is the fact that it was it just got out of beta, so it's officially ready for for full time, and it was just released under open source. Which doesn't that make it the first cryptocurrency software or CryptoCoin, whatever, for open source, or is there another one?
All of them are open source. Bitcoin was open source, and everything has been based off of Bitcoin's source code.
It seems to me the major point of this article is that it allows for anonymity. Basically, privacy is what their selling point is.
Right. Yeah. More privacy than what Bitcoin, its competitor, has. Right. I mean, more anonymity, basically.
Right.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's the whole problem with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, some people have been able to track back a transaction to who spent it, who got it, and that's a little bit of a problem when you're talking about things like Silk Road and such.
Yeah.
Right. Where I buy my heroin off the internet. All right. Well, I don't understand. I don't know. It says here that Darkcoin is the first fully open source cryptocurrency. So, is Linux Insider? You're telling me that they're wrong? That this is not the first fully open source cryptocurrency?
Is that right at the beginning here? Where is it?
It's right in the second paragraph. Is the first fully open source cryptocurrency with financial privacy built directly into the software. Maybe that's the point, that it's the first open source, but then also that it's got the financial privacy built directly in. Maybe that's the point of the sentence.
I think that is. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, just to clarify that, but and I thought we could talk about it because Atomic does have some experience Bitcoining or mining, whatever you want to call it, and I thought you could just kind of touch on it briefly. I don't want to go too in depth into it, but just for any of the viewers that we have that are not familiar at all, with what Bitcoining or cryptocurrency is, if you could just kind of just summarize it for us, Atomic.
Okay, cryptocurrencies are digital money, of course. The way that they work is you have an address, and this address is in hexadecimal, I think. I'm not looking at an address right at the moment, but you would give this address out to someone, and they could send money from their wallet to your wallet. Now, to prevent the currency from being entirely worthless by people generating their own money, it's built on a cryptographic hash, which requires that some actual work be done. You see that for a while there, AMD's GPU prices were being driven by graphics cards. That's because people were buying graphics cards to mine Bitcoin and later Litecoin and its derivatives.
Basically, mine any type of cryptocurrency.
Yeah. And
okay,
what,
so you're saying in order to get, like, say, equivalent of 1 Bitcoin or 1 cryptocurrency, you're saying that your computer hardware had to do calculations, logarithms and whatnot to what? Devise a prime number? Or what, what is it doing?
I could not possibly tell you the science behind it, but in the beginning of Bitcoin, you were able to mine currency out of the thing, and at a pretty quick rate, too. You know, there's several Bitcoin millionaires out there. But today, the miners in an established currency like Bitcoin, they are taking care of the transactions in the network. When you make a transaction with somebody else, it shares this transaction out with everybody on the Bitcoin network. And the people that hash this, they run the hashing software on their GPUs. It makes sure that the transaction is kosher, and if it's kosher, it verifies the transaction, and then the network at large will pick it up and say, hey, this is a verified transaction. And that's how you keep double spending down.
For the layman, I think basically it's just like what is that thing when you donate your compute power?
Prime 95.
Well, yeah.
That was that was an example that I was trying to relate, mining to. Prime 95 is used to find Mersenne prime numbers. I don't know if I pronounced that word right, but
Mersenne, I believe it is.
Mersenne, okay, Mersenne prime numbers. And Mersenne prime numbers are, like some complex equation or whatever. And so that's what I was trying to ask you is, mining what it's computing, what it's doing, what numbers it's crunching, like what is the end result is what I was trying to ask you. Like, is it
even that I couldn't tell you. The originator of the Bitcoin protocol, Satoshi Nakamoto, wrote an entire white paper on this, on how this works, and I've tried to read it, and it's just way over my head.
Okay. All right. Well, I just thought we could touch on this a little bit because you were a miner. So what was your hardware setup when you were fully mining? What did your rig look like? If you wouldn't mind sharing with our viewers.
I had an A8 6600K APU. I was running an HD 7850 and an R9 290.
Yeah, Lonely Invaders got it right. Folding at home. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, sure. Where you're basically allowing your computer to be used with like other computers for clustering to figure out equations, kind of, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what Bitcoin mining is, more or less.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
But except for in Bitcoin mining, you're getting paid for it, whereas folding at home is more of a public service.
Right. Oh, it's folding at home simulates protein folding, computational drug design, and other types of molecular dynamics. Wow. That's pretty neat.
Yep.
Wonder if no. I did a search on the folding at home wiki to see if Bitcoin the word showed up at all on the whole page, but it doesn't. So they must not be doing either any type of similar computation at all. I'm not sure. But anyway, so there is Darkcoin, guys. Just wanted to let everybody know Darkcoin is left beta phase, and it's now ready for everyone. And it's like I said, supposedly the first fully open source cryptocurrency with financial privacy built directly into the software. So moving on to the next topic that I wanted to touch on is actually we'll let Osiris has been kind of quiet. We'll let Osiris talk about the topic that he's got this week. Go ahead, Osiris.
Oh, yeah, just my hashtag microstopped, which was pretty funny. And I think this is a good display of people being sheep. So basically what microstopped is Microsoft, apparently it was Microsoft or somebody on behalf of Microsoft started issuing sweeping takedown orders for YouTubers if you had Microsoft in the title of your video, or you had keys to Microsoft products in the comments section of the videos, which of course they have all the rights to do. People don't seem to understand that as the owner of the channel or the person who is running that channel space on the internet, you're responsible for the content and the interaction on your channel. So yes, it sucks for a lot of the people who got caught up in this fishnet type of sweeping, but this is not a problem that's Microsoft's problem. This is a problem with YouTube's policies. And on my Twitter TweetDeck desktop app, I have a special timeline just dedicated to Microsoft because I'm just dying here laughing.
Is it still going?
Yeah, it's still like people are, even with the facts out, people are still pissed off.
Yeah, because I know Wired, the website Wired.com covered it, and I thought Microsoft, didn't they tweet out a public apology and say, that a third party was, basically claiming these legitimate videos as being copyright, and that they were sorry about it, whatever.
It's the exact same thing that happened a few months ago with the game
audio. Yeah, yep.
And that once again is indicative not of the content creator or the company who made the media, but of YouTube's very broken policies. While they're seriously bashing Microsoft. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been around and watched Microsoft completely demolish other companies unethically over and over.
Right.
But this is not Microsoft's problem. This is YouTube's problem. If people are mad, they need to be attacking YouTube. But to me, that's just especially in the tech world, it's a sheep type of mentality. Once one person got on that bandwagon, that thing started rolling. And what started it was, or what really caught my attention, and I think was the bigger YouTubers, was Chris Pirillo and Barnacles and Frugal Tech. Once those guys got involved.
Chris Pirillo was directly, noted in the Wired article, and all his video was simply, it was a video telling people how to download Windows 7 beta from the Microsoft website in 2009, and the video was marked as copyright, strike. Well, it's not a strike. I should take that back. It was just the video. For those of you that aren't YouTube content creators and you're not familiar with what we're talking about, basically, when you upload something to YouTube, you're claiming that you own 100% intellectual property. You own everything that's in that video.
Or you're using it under the fair use.
Right, or you're using it under the Fair Use Act. So when, say, for example, like if I actually upload a video of me playing Borderlands 2 and I don't put any commentary over it or anything, or I don't do anything educational about it or nothing, and I just strictly just upload a trailer, if 2K Games or Gearbox didn't want that to be on my channel, they could give me a copyright, notice and say, hey, you don't own this content. You cannot put it on your channel. And so what happens is if you YouTube can go as far as to actually give a person a strike, and you only get 3 strikes. Once you get 3 strikes, you actually get banned from YouTube, and you can't upload ever again until you get that resolved.
And YouTube is a type of company that if you have a problem, there's not a helpline or a call line. There's nobody, there's no person. YouTube does not exist in the physical, basically, if you have a problem. Now, I'm sure if you're somebody like PewDiePie, he probably has personal YouTube number where he can contact people. But for the vast majority,
his network, the network that he's with, they probably handle all of his issues straight.
No, I'm just saying, though, but with the amount of viewership that he gets, if he wants to talk to a YouTube person, he probably can. But
true.
The thing I'm saying is that
all these people's videos were flagged, and they were flagged as being copyright of Microsoft, and that they were going to get. So then do the videos get removed, or they just get hidden? Do they get unlisted?
It depends on how
you in the article.
At that point, I think it depends on how you respond. Now, you can allow for it just to be taken down and leave it alone. Then you can fight it. Once you fight it, though, then I think you get a permanent strike. Or
if you try to fight it and you can't prove that you own 100% of the content, then yeah, you'll probably get a strike.
But it's it is 3 strikes per year.
Per year, okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
But like if your channel is based off of Windows tutorials, you might have a problem.
Right.
Just like if your YouTube channel is based off of Nintendo content, and when Nintendo was doing their large sweeps, you could have had a good amount of your videos instantly taken down. Now imagine if you was trying to fight 12 videos. That's 3 strikes real quick if you can't get around it.
Right, yep. And like you said, I guess we have a couple of issues here. First, is this something? Did Microsoft just recently hire the third-party company to go out and look for their intellectual property throughout YouTube, or has it always been there? And it's just that with the release of Windows 10, that they were looking more closely at stuff. Like, we don't really know the backstory, but like you said, you think the issue's really on YouTube's side and not really Microsoft's side.
I think
I have to agree with you there.
I think the story is Microsoft is ramping up towards the official release of Windows 10, when all the normal, everyday, non-tech people are going to be seeing it, getting impressions of it. They're going to be checking YouTube, etc., etc. Now, if you go on YouTube and you look for anything that's software-based, games, operating systems, software, anything, you'll find a lot of videos that says how to get such and such for free CD keys, etc., etc.
Right.
Now, I think what Windows is trying to do is they're trying to protect their intellectual property in the age of. They're finally catching up to the age of the internet. So they hired this company probably pretty recently. I would say within the last 12 months to 6 months, and just like all the other companies who have tried to to bot YouTube, and they failed miserably. And like it was definitely not over the video content. It was more so over the comments in the video or any of the text that was below the video, including the descriptions, because they didn't want the keys being handed out, probably for Windows 10. But they probably started with Windows 7 and 8 just to ramp it,
Yeah, but I guarantee Chris Pirillo didn't have keys in his YouTube description or his YouTube title.
in his comments. But they were probably in his comments.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean,
And he can't even control that, really. I mean, he can. Don't get me wrong, he can. But let's be real, people. You're not going to go in and use YouTube's filter. The comments. There is a filter solution for YouTube comments where you can put in common words that you don't ever want to see in your comments. You can put those words in, like dickhead, asshole, or whatever you want, and then anytime somebody tries to use that word in the comments, I think it just gets removed from your comments. So they do have a filtering solution for comments, but there's no way that you'd be able to filter somebody pasting a key into the comments of your video. There's no way.
I will contend that just like if you ran your own website, you are responsible for not just your content, but the people who visit your website's postings.
True. I agree with you there. Yep. I'm sure if you read YouTube's terms of service and code of conduct and all that, it probably says in there that you're responsible for, like you just said, the comments of your video and whatnot. Yeah, you're probably right.
And even if you're not legally or are contractually bound to that, just to keep your own ass out of trouble, I would recommend that you at least read over your comments and see what's going on down there. Now, of course, I mean, somebody who's like Chris Pirillo, I think he has like definitely more than 100,000 subscribers and probably hundreds of comments per video, able to always catch everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm not victim blaming here, but what I'm saying is that YouTube overall, with the huge monolithic model that they have of YouTube, and for the most part it's so good, can somehow figure out how to give the content creators an equal, a balanced playing field, in which they can control their total page and their viewership interaction. Because that's the problem. Trolls on YouTube, it's not just CD keys, it's not just this and that. It's trolling. People can go on YouTube, make up 100 Google accounts, and fucking just troll the hell out of anything and everybody they want. Who cares if they get banned? Because they have 99 other troll accounts to come back and troll.
Right. Yeah. In fact, I had a friend that I met while I got really into playing Crysis 3 on the Xbox 360. He created a YouTube channel and got really into it, and ended up getting a troll that disliked him for whatever reason, whether it's because he killed him in a game or, just something stupid. But this troll basically harassed him off the YouTube. He harassed him so much that he left YouTube. And this troll even would get his videos flagged as, copyright strikes. So my friend, just got annihilated by this troll, and they have so much power. And again, this goes back to like what you said, is with YouTube's flagging system, it's too automated, and there's no human interaction to use freaking common sense.
Yeah.
I could go right now to anybody's video and click on it and say that I own it, and I could do that. And it would flag the video as being a copyright. Yep. Until the content creator then tried to, deny it and reply to the strike or reply to the copyright infringement notice, it would be flagged as copyright whatever. So they have this guilty until proven innocent type system, which is definitely fail. It's fail on Google's part, on YouTube's part, whatever. And this is just proof of it right here.
Oh, and just by the way, I seen a Linux user also got flagged. Jeff, the Linux guy, I believe his name is, who actually puts out pretty good content for Linux. videos, and apparently I didn't see which video it was, obviously because it was taken down. But apparently one of his videos got flagged too.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that pretty much covers micro stopped. Hashtag micro stopped. That's hilarious. So moving along, we have something I wanted to touch on that might affect some of our viewers here. Apparently, the developers over at Chrome OS are dropping support for ext file systems within their user interface. So, for those of you that are, unfamiliar with what that means, if you take a memory stick and your memory stick is formatted to a very popular Linux file system, which is ext4, and you try to plug it into your Chromebook, which is running the latest Chrome OS, the message will come up in the user interface that says file system unknown. So that is just totally baffling to me on why they would be doing that. I mean, the reason they claim that they're removing the file system support for ext2, 3, and 4 is because they can't rename the volume by right-clicking on it in their the UI, the user interface, which is beyond me.
Androidification. That's all I'm gonna say about that. They did the same thing with Android.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so stupid. So, I think. Oh, and to kind of further clarify, file systems on your memory stick, is basically for you Windows users, if you're watching, that's NTFS or FAT32. That's a file system. It basically formats the hard drive or the space so that it is a certain file system, so you can store files on it. And I'm sure, Chrome OS at its core is built on the Linux kernel. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Chrome OS is built on a Linux kernel. So, there's still going to be support, read-write support for drives with these file systems. I'm sure if you go into like developer mode or you go into a console or something, I don't know for sure. I scoured the Chrome OS bug and for comments from others about manually mounting ext2, ext3, and ext4 file systems because tons of developers are complaining. They were like, they're coming from Linux to Chrome OS and they develop code on their Chromebooks or whatever, and they say that all their SD cards and their memory sticks are formatted as ext4 or ext3, and they're saying, what the hell are you guys thinking? Removing, the mounting of them through the user interface. It's just, it's just like Osiris said it, Androidification, whatever.
Yep.
And also it kind of, I guess I sort of get what they're doing because they, their market, they strive for ease of use and cloud storage. They strive and push cloud storage, cloud. The whole Chromebook. Last week we talked about the Adobe Photoshop running from the cloud on a Chrome OS book. So they're trying to simplify. Basically, they're trying to simplify it, and by removing a feature is simplifying it is just asinine in my opinion. I think it's stupid. I don't personally have any Chromebooks or any device that runs Chrome OS. In fact, I was about to fire up Chromium OS in a VM and see if they've already removed the support for mounting a USB stick, but I didn't bother because I didn't think it was worth the time. I don't run Chrome OS, but I do have a few friends and family that have Chromebooks, and they love them to death. But they're the kind of people that aren't going to have ext4 files, formatted USB sticks. So, I don't know. I think it's asinine, personally, that they removed the support, but
I think for the vast majority of the people, their consumer market, although I think ethically it's wrong and morally it's wrong, and it's just another example of how they're using Linux, and then they just take it and kind of slowly close it off into an Apple atmosphere. Um, I think the majority of people probably won't ever care because they don't even know what ext is. Like,
yeah,
just think about
you're
the number
probably
of
right.
people using Android. Uh, how many of those people actually even know what ext is? And it's funny, in that article, in the Phoronix article, the last thing it says is the fully supported file system endorsed by Google will be F8 FAT and NTFS. So both Windows file
File
systems.
systems, right.
On a,
Chrome OS, yeah, is based on a Linux kernel.
it's too hard to mount and unmount Linux file systems, but you can do Windows ones just fine.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think they weren't complaining. I looked at the bug. They weren't complaining that they couldn't mount them. It was that they couldn't right-click on it through the user interface, like through the little panel on the left. They couldn't right-click on it and say rename. And I mean, I don't know why they couldn't. I'm sure they could have wrote some, some code in the background that would unmount it, then relabel it, because you can relabel ext4 partitions, and so I don't know. Their whole complaint that you couldn't right-click on it in their UI is just, I don't know. There's a ton of developers basically in the bug report that are complaining about this. So I'm wondering if it's going to even get reversed, to be honest. There's but who knows? I mean, time will tell, I guess. And like you said, the majority of people that use Chromebooks don't even know what an ext file system is. They probably don't even know what their file system is, even on their USB stick now. They don't know that it's NTFS or FAT32. Yeah. They just know that when they plug it in, they see their photos on the USB stick. That's all they care about.
But I'm 100% with you. I think moving forward, especially in the everything is on the internet age, and what is it? Transparency and freedom are something that should be held in very high regard when you're talking about the software and even possibly the hardware that you use. That should be a thing. Just like you want freedom and transparency in your everyday life, physically in the real life, you should want that in your virtual life also, or it's going to get bad really quick and bleed into your real life.
Right. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next topic, which is our last topic, I believe, is about a video game. Hey, look at that. We're going to actually talk about a game. So the creators of Minecraft, Mojang, or however you want to pronounce it, they released a video game called Scrolls. And they've actually just released an experimental Linux build for those of us who run Linux and want to give Scrolls a try. So what Scrolls is, it's a turn-based battle game played out with a deck of cards, and they come alive on the battle board. So it's like you have this board in front of you, and as you turning your cards over and whatnot, the board comes alive and interacts like a battle. But you're really just using a deck of cards. So I think that's similar to is Hearthstone like that? Is that a card game?
It's sort of like that, except for the animations aren't as what you say, but there's a good deal of animation in Hearthstone. It's just not like the actual characters, I don't believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to kind of see if I could share another video of we'll check out Scrolls on the YouTubes, just so we can let other viewers see this.
Is this gonna be free, or is this beta just free, or alpha, or whatever this is? The experimental build.
It is free. I don't know. It's provided as a tarball, and it's gun zipped or G zipped up. So that's a good question. I'm not sure if it's going to cost. I don't know how much Scrolls costs now.
Well, it says it. Says it's I thought it was on Steam. I thought I just seen it on Steam.
No, if I go to the Scrolls website and click on Buy Scrolls, looks like it costs money. So I'm not sure what's with the Linux experimental build.
How much is it? I mean, the one that costs money. Doesn't say.
It's trying to load the store. It just says loading store, and it hasn't come up yet. So I don't know. Did you look on Steam?
It's not on Steam.
Okay. But for those of you curious about it, I will play it, and you can see momentarily what we're looking at here. Mojang, however you pronounce it.
It does look interesting though, because I've always wanted to try to get into card games, but I don't really want to learn some like overly complicated card stuff. I think that it being visual helps out a lot. That makes it way more interesting for a casual too.
See, I'm one of the people that never played Dungeons and Dragons, or played any other board type game. So, these kind of games like this and Hearthstone, however you pronounce it, these kind of games, I just don't have the patience to get into it, to learn it, to play it, and have fun. That's my downfall in gaming. I just don't have the patience that's required,
I think these type of games are for certain type of people. And I do like RPGs and I do like Dungeons and Dragons, but I do not like card games for the most part.
Yeah, I hear you.
But depending on the price, this might be worth looking at.
Right.
Who can turn down cool animations?
So those of you that are Linux gamers, you want to check out the experimental build of Scrolls, there is a link on gamingonlinux.com. They have the article about Scrolls, and they have a link to the download of the Linux tarball if you'd be interested in checking that out. Actually, I'm going to download it quick and see what's in the tarball. It's only 180 megabytes, so it should download pretty quick.
I'm kind of betting that it's probably based on Java.
Yeah, I mean, Minecraft is based on Java. Yeah. They're the same developers. And their store never finished. Their store never loaded. It still says loading store.
They don't want you to buy it.
Right? They probably realize I'm using Linux and
you're a hacker.
Won't load the store. Yeah, they think I'm a hacker.
Wow.
Well, that pretty much covers, all the topics that we wanted to talk about today. A little bit of a shorter show today or this week, just a little bit over an hour. Atomic, are you still alive? Are you over there?
I think he fell off the internet.
All right.
It happens.
Yeah. So let's see. Actually, I got this tarball is done downloading. Let me open it in my archive manager. Scrolls data, Scrolls. Yeah, it looks like I don't know how. There's DLLs. I don't know how I would tell if it's. Oh, it's a Unity-based game.
There's DLLs.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's DLLs. I don't know why they're in. Yep. Animation description.dll, animation serializer.dll. JSONFX.dll, UnityEngine.dll.
Those are all Windows files.
They're in a folder that's called Managed under Data, under Scrolls Data, and then Managed. I don't know. But I believe it's based on Unity just by looking at the resources. It says Unity built-in, Unity default resources, so on and so forth. So it looks like to be a Unity game.
Yeah.
So check it out if you're interested in card turn-based game. So that's pretty much it for this week's show, guys. Hopefully you had some enjoyment out of Linux Tag, as Osiris conveniently put one time. So if you want to share our podcast with others, you can say, yeah, I was sitting at Linux Tag the other day and we had a great time and we saw about this new game called Scrolls. Or you can just say the whole word Linux Tech and Gaming. That's your choice. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, I really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you for coming. We had decent viewers, and actually now our viewers are going up. For now, we have 6 instead of 4. But thank you everybody for coming. As usual, everything is down below in the description. As far as links to we have a Steam group. If you're on Steam and you want to join a gaming group, a Linux gaming group, you can join our Steam group. We also have Atomic's and Osiris's YouTubes and Twitters in the description. Is there anything that you wanted to add, Atomic and Osiris?
Yeah, I did, but for some reason my brain stopped working. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I'm happy that I finally crossed over 200 subscribers, so check out my page. See if you like something and do all that good stuff. I'm doing good on Twitter too. I'm happy for 2014. I think 2015 is going to be even better. Not just for myself, but for Linux gaming in general. Now that we're starting to see real support from developers and industry for the platform. Not to mention, 2015 will be the official release of the Steam machine, so hopefully that can catch some wind, which I'm really doubting. But anyways, hopefully it does.
Yeah. Steam machines for the win.
I just want to see the platform get more real looks from the industry and the manufacturers, and not these half cross-eyed looks that we've been getting. Oh, and also a side note, and a little bit of news that kind of caught my eye that Unity is up for sale. I don't even know what that really means. That's why I didn't add it. But Unity, the gaming engine that many of the Linux games that are made on, is up for sale, and so who knows what that means to the future of Unity. But if Unity ceases to exist, that means we'll see a lot less crap games too. So that's that. But okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Atomic, you got anything to add? All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. If you guys are interested in continuing to watch a live stream with any of us in it, you can come and check out my Twitch and my Hitbox. I will be live streaming some Borderlands, the pre-sequel, right after this ends. So until next week, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will see you next week, guys. Have a good week, everybody, if we don't talk to you until then. Laters.
Later.